Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of Shattered Convictions. This is a very somber moment. Unfortunately, Big Yahoo is dead, and we're not really sure how it happened. But just play the intro. I can't even.
World War III has never been closer than it is right now.
Pentagon today announced the U.S. is sending military assets closer to Israel, including one of the Navy's most...
really quite close
the way you
to, very close to cutting edge in AI.
You're making all my dreams come
President Xi
true.
Jinping has said that China is an complex and difficult security disguise, and he wants people in China to...
Dude, I know you share a name with his country, but it's not that deep, dude. Are you sure he died?
I'm pretty sure. I saw on TikTok, I saw on Instagram that Big Yahoo's dead. That's what I saw.
Do you have proof?
I don't know. I mean, tell me, is there something out saying that he's not dead?
I don't know. Is there?
You tell me.
I mean, we could look it up. Jamie, pull it up.
Hey, we gon' rock it till the wheels fall off. Hold up.
He's alive.
Oh
my goodness.
I was gonna say God, but I don't think God.
Yeah,
would
I
keep
don't
him
think God
alive.
helped him. I think Satan helped him out.
I don't even
saved
think
his life.
Satan would.
No, but I mean, ultimately, you were seeing this. I mean, who really knows if he's dead or not?
Right.
I mean, because
Same
obviously,
could be said about the Ayatollah.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, disclaimer, that video was fake. Benjamin Netanyahu
Yeah,
does not have moves like
couldn't
that.
tell that was AI. He
Yeah,
don't got hops like that.
He does not have the backflip ability.
I don't even
like
think
that.
the man likes coffee, bro.
Yeah, or was he drinking matcha? I don't remember.
I mean, matcha is for evil people, so maybe.
Yeah, true. That
Like,
is on brand for Big Yahoo.
It's scientifically proven. If you drink matcha, you're an evil person. So maybe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Could
he
be.
has a Dubai chocolate Labubu next to him as well.
Another one. Oh God, dystopian.
No, but I mean, ultimately, all games aside, all jokes aside, how is this war playing out for you? What are you thinking about this?
This great 2-day war that I've been having arguments with people, friends saying dude, it's gonna be a quick operation, a week, and it's bro, we both lived through the early 2000s. We should know better at this point.
and that's the first thing too. The whole operation war. Oh, it's not a
Right.
war.
I
It's
think
actually a
I think it's
tactical.
semantics, honestly.
It 100% is because they don't want to get impeached for this obvious
Right.
illegal war that
Right.
they need
Another
Congress to.
illegal military action. The whole thing with Venezuela was illegal either. You know what I mean?
But this is the quintessential what we don't want. The definition of foreign wars that we don't have anything to do with and we don't need to be a part of is Iran. It is getting into Iraq. It is these types of wars, specifically Middle Eastern wars.
Right.
And that's what, before I start crashing out, that's what Trump ran on. That was
Right.
his whole
No new wars.
shtick. His
Right.
whole shtick, right? Even when he was going up against all the other Republicans, but in
Right.
2016.
But they're gonna move the goalposts because he ran out no new wars, and they're gonna be yeah, but Iran's not a new war. It's been going on for dude, come on.
40-something years.
Right,
It's
come,
dude.
come on, dude.
They literally have index cards in their pocket,
Yeah.
with all these
It's just they hit all the
talking
bullet
points.
points.
And,
Right.
and the funniest thing too, I was watching. You might not like this guy, Owen Schroyer.
I don't even know who that is.
Owen Schroyer, he's Alex Jones, Robin.
Okay.
basically. Alex Jones is
That's-
Batman.
okay.
He's Robin.
Fair.
They just had a schism recently. It's a whole arc. It's gonna come up in the new comic, the political comic.
Okay,
Version
interesting.
2. But he was talking about this specific kind of evolution to the Trump party. Because I think now you can kind of see it, and not to be ageist or whatever, but a lot of the supporters that he has now are a lot older. It's not really
Right,
how it
right,
was
right.
before, where it was a young
I
crowd who
think
was
it's more so
energized.
because
and,
younger crowds are more inclined, even the ignorant ones are more inclined to know things than boomers.
I think
You know
because
what I
they're
mean?
forced to on the internet. It's
Right.
it's kind of hard to escape it.
And now it's especially if you're younger, bro, you can't have a bad take. You'll get cooked. You know
Literally.
what I mean? Boomers don't care. There's just an echo chambers on Facebook of
And
other
we're
boomers.
in our own echo chambers, to be completely fair, because there's an opposite side of the coin, because propaganda works both ways.
For
And if
sure.
you don't think you're being propagandized,
For sure.
lock in, because you are 100%.
Yeah, for sure, 1000%
But
you
in
are.
terms of this specific thing, I think I kind of hold these two things in the same regard. The whole Epstein situation and this illegal war in Iran is kind of a blatant show that what the American people want is not what's going to happen.
Right.
And special interests rule the show.
Always have.
And you see that with Iran, because obviously, if you're paying attention to the situation, we're going to war for Israel. It has
Right.
nothing to do with American safety. If anything, Americans are
Right.
more
And,
unsafe because of this
people
war.
who people who parrot those talking points to me, dude, you're an NPC, dog. Let's call a buck, dude.
Yeah, I mean,
You know
Marco
what I mean?
Rubio himself came out.
Right.
And this was his first.
Right.
We talked about this in the last episode as well. But when Marco Rubio came out right after this war started, and he goes, "Oh well, the intimate threat was Israel attacking Iran and then them attacking us because we're aligned with Israel."
Right, right.
And obviously, I mean that makes sense. I would say Israel is completely dependent on us 100%, and anything that they get into, we have to support them. Otherwise, they would be destroyed because they couldn't support a multilateral war like they
Which
are
they
without American
are
support.
super insistent on doing anyway. You know what I mean? Like
Because they know
attacking-
America's going to back them up.
attacking on multiple fronts, like habitual line steppers. You know what I mean? Like, and like you said, we come running. You know, like this war itself is prime proof of that. We're fighting it for nobody but Israel.
And you see that too with the outcome. Now, obviously, like the closing down of the Strait of Hormuz, right? The oil
could have
prices.
seen that coming?
Yeah, obviously, that's so they're
That's such like a 5D brain chess move. Like, who could have seen that coming?
yeah, right. It's
You
like
know,
the number
like-
one thing that keeps our entire global economy
Right,
afloat.
right. And the one country that controls it,
Exactly.
who would have thought?
And then also too, I think the Americans and the Israelis really underestimated the Iranian capability with these drones, and especially too with the amount of money that we're spending on these anti-drone systems,
Which they're
are more
just, like-
expensive than the drones
And
themselves.
like, it's so funny to see like the video. Now, granted, a lot of things are AI and it's hard to tell. But like, I've seen lots of videos. Like, take it with a grain of salt, obviously. But I've seen lots of videos of like these rockets like messy, like through their way through like these anti-drone and hitting targets anyway. So it's like, what are we spending this money on? You know, like it's crazy to me. Like top state of the art anti-drone and like we're getting duked. You know what I mean? Like they're crossing ankles, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
And then another big thing that I feel like a lot of people aren't talking about is the fact that Donald Trump opened up the sanctions with Russia for this to kind of alleviate the damage with the oil. But it's like we're already fighting a war with Russia right now. I mean, even if you want to say we're not fighting it, Ukraine's fighting it.
By
we're-
proxy.
Exactly, right? We are fighting this war. We're involved in this war. And now we're going to let thousands to millions to, I mean, I don't know if billions would be, but billions of dollars to flow into Russia.
probably trillions.
Yeah,
honestly.
and it's like we're fighting this war with Russia, and the whole argument was, oh, well, we're attacking Russia because we're using Ukraine, and it's not really affecting us, and we can kind of damage their capabilities. But the same thing is happening to us right now with Iran, Russia, China. They're supporting Iran. This war is depleting our systems, our anti-missile systems, and our anti-drone systems. We're already getting depleted. We already spent a lot on Ukraine already. We already spent a lot on Israel.
Right.
And if this does escalate to a larger war, it's like, do we have the infrastructure needed to be able to continue to build these at a rapid rate to fight off this type of drone warfare? Because again, it's a thing of attrition because they're able to spend a fraction of the cost, like $50,000 for a high-tech drone to destroy $1 million,
Right.
$2 million, $3 million system. This is just going to be depleting again the
Right,
American
right.
treasure. So
Agreed.
in all ways, this war is number one, not for us, it's for Israel and their wider goals because they want to destabilize Iran and have them to either basically have them in a chastity belt and have them
Sounds about right.
locked down in a dungeon, a German dungeon.
Dude, Iran's been cooked since 1953, bro. Like, ever since we overthrew their prime minister, like it's just been downhill for them, man. Like, I kind of feel for the Iranian people, you know, like.
Yeah, and the whole thing too, it's like I feel for them as well because even if you look at it, they're getting two fronts of this because their government sucks, and even if you look at the protests,
But even that's
and the
our
terrible
fault.
things, well, here or there, because again, they're
The Islamic Revolution happened because in 1953 we overthrew their democratically elected leader, and the guy who took, I forgot his name, but like the Shah who took over again was so bad and so ruthless that the Islamic Revolution happened and we got the Ayatollah. You know what I mean? So like we're directly responsible for us. Not all us. England was also 50-50, but like it's us. We're the reason. You know, like
I don't want to label everything that happens there our fault.
No.
but I agree with what you're
No,
saying.
but, like-
I agree with the gist of what you're saying. Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where we go from here, dude. You know what I mean? Like we're a
that's-
month into a
that's the whole
2-day
thing.
war. You know, like a month in.
well,
Where do
I feel like we're still fighting. We're still striking things, and that even adds
right, but that's
to-
never not gonna happen. That's always gonna happen. But like, do I think we're gonna lose the war? No.
We're spending $1 billion a day.
Right.
This is over a 2-day
Right,
war. We're
right,
entering into like
right.
a
And
long,
like,
long-standing
granted, we
war.
probably will win eventually if that like finishing line ever gets here. But like at that point, who cares after you spend $50 billion?
And the question is this: get your pocketbook out, your Kalshi bet, your Poly Market bet. We doing troops on the ground? You think that we're going to get that far?
Probably, yeah.
I think so too, because
Probably.
especially too, if you look at the stated aims, it's about regime change, right? Anyone
They're
saying,
even saying it,
no,
which is crazy.
because they can't deny it, because
Right.
everyone who's saying this is about nuclear threat is wrong.
Right.
They're
You're
just
gaslighting
wrong.
yourself.
Exactly, because
Yeah.
if you look at the fact that we already had a deal with them, Trump got rid of that deal.
Right, we were
They
in the middle of
weren't-
negotiations.
They weren't enriching, exactly, and all the negotiations that we were going through as well. Israel was there muddying the waters, and they even said, and I don't want to just put the blame on Israel, we can put the blame on Trump as well, because Trump came out here and literally said that he was tricking the Iranians the whole time, and he didn't want a deal with them. So it's like,
That's
it's not about
crazy,
American
dude.
safety, it's about Israel's safety.
Right.
And now it's to the point where we're literally sacrificing American troops for the safety of Israel. And the reason Israel is getting all these attacks is because they are a very tyrannical regime that is constantly trying to push their borders out, oppressing the Palestinians.
Agreed.
And no, it's all just so easy, right? Because there's tensions, there's arguments,
Obviously, the
whatever.
world
There's
is
war, no
nuanced, right.
Yeah, the world's nuanced. It's not that simple. But in terms of like a observation point of view and like right and wrong, and especially to a lot of people who aren't making these political decisions with like years and years of history, even optically, it looks terrible. And then when you delve into the history, when you do the time to delve into the history,
Right.
it's even more apparent
Right.
that this is
No,
not
the worst thing. Do you remember like when
clear-cut
when
situation.
the genocide first started and like everybody's like, oh, you don't know the history. You got to do your research, this and that. And then people did their research. It was like, no, bro, you're committing a genocide.
That literally happened to me. Like, if you
Right.
asked me a month in, 2 months into this war, I thought Israel had the right to essentially conduct the operations how they wished, right? And obviously, the whole argument with collateral damage is a legitimate argument, because if you're doing a military operation,
There's gonna be
some
collateral, right.
civilian
But there's a
casualties are going
line.
to happen. Exactly. But that's the whole thing. And I remember explicitly when they bombed the tents in Rafah, at that point I was like, wait.
That was the hospital, right?
No. Well, they bombed the hospital too, but then
Which they denied.
They were able to claim that
They denied for so long, and now they just openly admit.
well, they
when
denied
hit-
that one and then instantly bombed a bunch of hospitals right
Yeah,
after.
right
so
after,
it
right,
didn't even
right.
matter. But then in terms of that, because they claimed that there was like
underground-
Hamas underground, and I wouldn't even doubt that that's probably true.
Honestly, I feel like every time they make a claim, it's projection. You know what I mean? Because you know what they did find too? They found Israeli bunkers underneath like residential areas, and like so. I feel like every time you hear them like claim something that Hamas did, they're projecting, dude.
Good pronunciation on that too.
Thank
well,
you.
I will say this
Thank
to
you.
give the Israelis credit,
I'm trying to get that check.
they
from Big
care about
Yahoo.
their the big Netanyahu,
Yeah.
like the old Kanye interview.
I
Did
want
you
more
ever
than
see
seven,
that?
I want more than 7,000 though.
Nah, you're not getting more than 7K.
Yeah.
Did you see that they're not even paying out the 7K?
Yeah, you're out
Like
here
Family
shucking-
Guy wouldn't make a joke
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
That's like a
It's so easy. Like it's almost like bad taste to make a joke like that, you know,
Yeah.
because it's so obvious. But like here they are being a joke.
And do you think there's any end to this this kind of game that we're playing with the American public and the government? Because again, as I said,
Defined
it
game.
seems like no matter what we do, the special interests always come in and take over. And I think the American people are woke, and especially the younger generation, your generation, a little bit older than you. I think they're very woke to what the main threats are to America and what our goals are of like how we want to conduct
Right.
the country to be able to supply for a lot of people,
Right.
not necessarily focus just on corporations. Again, corporations are the core of our company. Touche, whatever.
Same thing in this country.
Same thing. But it's important. Business owners are important. But there's a balance between the people and what's going on here. And not even just like, oh, we want to increase the minimum wage. That's like a surface level. There's a lot of arguments against that.
Right.
It's more like AI technocratic control, like
Private equity owning homes.
exactly, like things
Right.
that are like credit card companies literally
So are you
charging
asking me if there's
30%
like
interest.
an end to this? To like
Do you think that like there can be enough will to actually do this through the legislative process to like be able to get these swamp creatures out of the swamp
It's a good question.
and purge
It's a
the
very
water out?
very nuanced question because I feel like I kind of want to be hope-pilled and say yeah, but like more realistically, we probably have to wait till boomers die out. You know what I mean? Because they hold a lot of sway, both in voting and like positions of power within the government. You know what I mean? So I would like to say yeah, I would hope for that, but like it goes back to what we were talking about last week. Like you gotta promote the right people. You know what I mean? Whether it's like a Republican or a Democrat or whatever. Like I hate the Democratic Party, but we gotta choose the right people. You know, like actual progressive people. And then on the right, like go for Thomas Massey and people of that ilk.
Yeah,
you know what I
true.
mean? That's the only way.
The Freedom Caucus, like that's what we should be going after because I
Right.
think that's what as America we agree on, right? Rights, liberty,
Right.
pursuit of happiness. obviously that's all fluff. I just gave you a bunch of marshmallows and peanut butter, and I was like, oh, we're so nice together, haha.
Thanks,
But
Homelander.
it's true. It's like we care about freedom of speech. We care about well, I don't know if all liberals care about the right to bear arms, but
They do.
yeah, I think a lot of leftist types do care about the right to bear arms.
Like I
Not
saw
necessarily just liberals.
this like what this happened during like the Alex Preddy shooting, and like people were like all the leftists were coming out with their guns and this and that, and people were like, oh my god, all of a sudden like leftists like they like guns, and it's like no, bro, leftists and Republicans like leftists like guns the way Republicans do abortions. Like you get one, but you don't tell anybody. You know what I mean? But
Crazy.
but you have them. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, because we're in America. You should have a
Right,
gun. I mean,
right.
if you can legally own a gun, you should have a gun in America. I mean, it's for your own protection. It's for
I
your
get
own
that.
safety.
Like I'm definitely pro 2A. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just that like, especially a lot of these
And
like
privacy.
Trumper 2A people now are like,
It's LARP.
yeah, bro, because it's
LARPing.
like, dude, it's literally there to protect the thing you're protecting, like to protect you from the thing you're like actively protecting. You know what I mean?
But that's the whole
Like,
thing too, because it's like I feel like we've been engineered. Our minds have been engineered
sure.
through Instagram or just social media in general. We've been conditioned through news. It's like we're constantly traumatized, propagandized, told that things are black and white. Used like fear is used to move the chess match, be able to tell people what to do. It's like we got into war in Iraq after 9/11. You know, it's like we got into, or at least like the policy and
right.
you know, not directly, but well, kind of, because they said that Saddam Hussein was involved in
Same thing.
weapons of mass destruction.
20 years
Yeah,
ago, same thing.
Exactly, yeah. And it's like we're using fear as well to get into this conflict as well. You look at what happened with COVID, where everyone's telling to, I don't know how you stand on COVID, but the way that the government was able to tell everyone to stay in their homes and everyone just did it, like where they told everyone to take the vaccine and everyone just did it. And the culture behind it too was like, oh, if you're not complying with what the government wants, you're actually evil. You're actually trying to destroy the country.
Stupid.
And that happens on both sides. And I feel like that's
For
like the
sure.
biggest thing where, oh, you're just a fence sitting centrist,
The
both
worst
sides, both
take.
sides. But it's just
Stand
true.
for something.
Brain rot is just true. And like we need to be able to cut that out and argue the issues. Because it's like
Agreed.
if I'm sitting here as a libertarian, right? Big L, and then you're sitting there as a
You could say it.
leftist.
You can say commie. It's cool.
You can say communist. We got a little commie over here, right? And it's like, okay, we disagree on whatever, the way that minimum wage should be set up, the way that healthcare should be set up because of finances, whatever.
But at the core, it's the same.
But ultimately, we all agree on what makes America better.
Right.
But then there's a subsect of people who are literally only there for their special interests.
For sure.
Are only in. It's like the one issue special interest. I don't know if that's the word for it. I'm thinking on the
But
top of my
I get
head
what you
here.
mean, though.
But it's like they have one issue that they really care about. And I guess that's already baked into the word special interest. But they have one issue that they really care about. And no matter what, you must comply with that.
Right.
You see that blatantly with the Israeli lobby. I think most people see that as a blatant situation where there is a lobby who, if you don't support Israel 100%, they will pay someone else to come
Right,
take
not
you
to name
over.
names.
Well, yeah, yeah,
Right.
but it's like that with everything. It's like that with the medical industry as
For
well.
sure,
It's like
for
that with the
sure.
oil industry.
It goes back to like it really just boils down to like capitalism sucks, dude. You know what I mean? Like
No, capitalism is great. We love
right,
capitalism.
capitalism is awesome, right? But capitalism also the reason why the world has gone to shit.
But it's
you
like I
know?
don't think
Like,
it's crony capitalism. It's
For
like
sure,
it's
yeah.
these people
It's
coming
the
in
it's the
and manipulating the
right,
situation.
it's neoliberal policies and like
And
treating-
globalism.
and treating companies like people. I think that was the worst fucking thing we've ever done was give companies the same rights as people.
Especially when it comes to politics.
Right.
Especially when
you
it comes
know,
to donating.
like I don't understand how like an organization can be treated as like a living being, you know, and it's only for profits. You know, it's the only reason, and to protect the rich. You know, like. But going back to what you were saying before, I think most leftists and right wingers, like maybe not far righters, but like, dude, they're way more in common than they like people let on. Like we agree on like most of the same things, except I say billionaires, they say Jews. You know what I mean?
Whoa,
but like,
whoa. Don't put that on me.
but I'm not saying you.
Don't put that on me.
I'm not saying you, but like
we love the Jews on this podcast.
but like you know what I mean though, like one minority group is to blame for all the world's problems, but it's not Jewish people. You know what I mean? Like it's billionaires, dude. Yeah, everything we do, this whole war in Iran, special interests. You know what I mean? A small group of people are making a lot of money off of this. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah, and it kind of adds to the whole thing of our system in total, because if you look, a lot of things are geared towards the economy, the S&P 500, right? Propping up those businesses to look good
the
because
Dow's not at 50K though.
yeah, that's a whole other situation, you know, Pam Bondi, we're coming after you.
Yeah.
We're coming after you, Pam.
Until it hits 5000, like you're on the chopping block.
no,
you
now it's
know?
increased. You got to hit 55.
Oh, true,
you know? Or
true.
51 at least, and then you can.
Yeah, 55 is a little unrealistic.
Yeah, but in terms of like, a lot of the biggest growing companies right now are tech companies, gambling companies.
Mostly gambling, I
right?
would say.
Yeah, gambling's a big one.
Huge.
If you look at like a lot of our industry is shipped overseas, and we're gonna get the same issue.
Thanks, Reagan.
We're gonna get the same issue, right? In like when we get into this global war, because I do think that we're gonna get into World War, not to doomsday everybody.
No, but
But
it
the
seems
way
to be
that
on the
things are
card,
coming
though.
up,
Right.
I don't think that we're at a strong position, especially too with our industry, because we need to be able to build weapons.
Even militarily, I don't think we're up. To
Yeah, because I don't
stuff.
think that we
'Cause,
were paying attention to the threat, the drone
going back
threat
to like what you were
particularly.
saying about the Strait of Hormuz, it's crazy to me that we spent Trump 2.0 the entire first year strongmanning people and saying like America doesn't need nobody, this and that. We run into one little roadblock at Strait of Hormuz and we're like begging like allies to come to help, and allies are like, no, dude.
Yeah, we're not getting
Even
involved in this.
Japan said no. Japan's essentially a colony.
And that's a whole
You
other
know
thing
what I
too.
mean?
With,
Like-
we have other security deals with other people in different regions. You know, the UAE,
Right.
Qatar. We have other places as well in the Middle East. We have places in Japan, in South Korea, and there's a lot of issues as well too because we're diverting a lot of attention away from these regions to support this war. But then when Japan didn't get attacked, obviously, but the UAE and Qatar and stuff,
right.
when they got attacked, we didn't really do anything to support them. Like obviously we did a little bit to try to help our American soldiers that were there.
Yeah, but
it
that's
kinda,
it. Not like the countries themselves.
exactly. But that's the whole point. Like why are we
Right.
in your place if we're not going to support you?
Power,
but
dude.
that's like the whole thing. We're just going to destabilize our grip over the world because when people start realizing that we're actually not here to, you know, we're not actually going to end up doing this global superpower thing. And I think we should kind of get away from this
Label.
label of like the world's
mean-
policemen. But
Right. I mean, I was.
It's
It's
a
so
little
funny you
nuanced.
said that
It's
too.
nuanced.
It's so funny you said that too because I was literally about to bring up how like it's crazy how on like one hand you're going back to that whole like Team America World Police vibe while still like losing your grip on what's happening in the world. You know what I mean? Like you can't have it both ways, dude. You know, like
you think Taiwan feels safe?
no.
Hell no.
And I was also going to bring that up now too because it's like China can use the same justifications we've been giving or Israel's been giving to invade Taiwan, and we can't say anything because we're literally doing the same thing.
And you think we're gonna get into a war with China now that we're in a war with Iran? If
if
something
they
pops
invade
off?
Taiwan, probably.
So World War.
Yeah, probably. Because I always held the theory that like World War III would start with China and Taiwan. Now, I will admit I think I'm wrong, and it probably will start with Israel. You know, I didn't give Israel enough credit, I guess. Sorry, Big Yahoo. But because I always thought it would be like the moment China invades, because Taiwan produces 90% of the chips, and that makes the world go around at this current moment. You know what I mean? I thought we would like fight China for it, and that would start World War III. It might start a little bit earlier than that, though. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Because like Iran, I don't think it's gonna spill into like a world global conflict. You know what I mean? Like, unless like we just start like conquering regions, like you know what I mean? Then maybe sure. You know, but like I think it'll just be us and Israel versus them. I don't think like others are gonna hop in. You know what I mean?
Thank you to our sponsors: North Avenue Bakery, Hotel Praia Sol, Luis Firmino Insurance, MCM Clinic, Top Burger, Go Car Services, Coimbra Restaurant.
Yeah. Well, they're coming in to help support like financially wise. But yeah, I understand what you mean. Like, it's
But
not
I
gonna be
meant
a
like
full-
troops on the
total-
ground or like Navy or whatever. I don't think that's happening. Not with Iran, at least, in my own personal opinion.
Have you been paying attention to like the Pete Hegseth like messianic prophecy thing?
Oh God, him. He's another character, dude. And like, I love how he's like, we didn't start this war and this and that. It's like, dude, you literally changed your name to Secretary of War.
Literally.
Like, you literally
This isn't
changed-
a war right before Secretary of War.
Right,
bro,
like,
come on.
like you changed the name, my guy. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, it's like they're like gaslighting us and thinking we're dumb. You know what I mean?
The
And
thing though, it's like we are though. You know why?
we are,
Because
but we aren't.
we are.
It's just the majority
because-
is.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like we just had this whole Epstein scandal. Sorry to always bring up Epstein, but,
But
it's
all
actually
connected.
so insane
It's
and
all
so important.
connected, though.
And that is another aspect too, because a lot of people think that this Epstein doesn't have nothing to do with this war.
Right?
Like,
Why do you think they call it Operation Epstein Fury?
Epstein Fury.
You know what I mean? Like, because you got to remember who you're fighting for, dude.
the axis of Epstein versus
Right.
Iran.
Right. And it's just like, dude, it's just crazy to me. Like this, we're just like crashing out now. But like, it's crazy too that like, what was it, a month and a half ago, Trump started the Board of Peace or like the Legion of Doom,
I think it
whatever
was
you
just
want to
Board
call
of
it.
Peace, bro.
Right. Like it's literally the Legion of Doom, bro. Like if you
Legion
have
of
big,
Goon, Epstein.
like if you have Big Yahoo on that panel and like the Hungarian president, like because he's another like super far right authoritarian like minded guy, dude, it's the Legion of Doom, bro. Like you know what I mean?
Isn't he the one who kind of looks like Gru from
Kind of,
Despicable Me?
yeah. And then, like you said, the Board of Peace got bored of peace real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like the world's not interesting enough without war, I guess.
I think honestly, when I see stuff like that, I truly think Trump is trying to get like a forever legacy of policy making
sure.
and control. Because if you look at the way he's setting up his presidency, he's just racking in millions and millions of dollars, huge deals for all with his family,
Right.
tech companies, all that stuff.
It's crazy that he got away with a rug pull, dude. Like,
Well, now he has complete immunity, doesn't he, through the Supreme Court?
oh, I don't even know,
So
bro.
he's good.
Probably, yeah.
Well, that's just a money-making duplication method. I mean,
Yeah.
am I going to blame him for duplicating
Honestly,
money
like,
off the American people's back?
I don't know if this is a conspiracy theory or a hot take, but like Satoshi Nakamoto is the CIA, in my opinion.
Did you see the whole connection with him and Epstein? That Jeffrey Epstein, like when the Bitcoin team was low, like invested a bunch of money with them?
Yeah, I believe that. I didn't see it, but I believe that because I think Satoshi Nakamoto is the CIA, and like Bitcoin and like cryptocurrency is just a scam, bro, to keep us like.
Did you see that
dunking around-
Epstein?
Like it literally doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Like it's just numbers.
Did you see that he was working? Well, he claimed he was working on behalf of the Rothschilds.
I did see
How
that.
much? How much of that do you?
I think it with a grain of salt because like the thing now with like the Epstein thing is dangerous because one, there's a lot of truth in there. Two, people are trying to get views and like outcry media, so they're gonna like say some outlandish things. You know what I mean? And like Rothschilds are like a buzzword.
Yeah.
You know, so like I could
Like it basically makes the conspiracy itself.
right. Like I kind of like take it with a grain of salt. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they're involved like that, but at the same time, it kind of just seems like a buzzword gotcha.
But
like,
but
click
he,
this
he
video
was
type
he
of.
was one of the on the top of the board of like the Trilateral Commission, and like it is one of these like these global initiatives that are here to like have the planet more green, but it's more of like a way to like have control over people's actions and
sense. Yeah,
movements.
that
and,
makes sense.
And for me, obviously, again, this is grain of salt. We're entering through conspiracy land here, but it's like when you look at how much they're trying to protect this guy. I don't think it's just on like they want to protect themselves. I think it's like a whole system thing.
I
Like
think
this
so,
guy's
too.
literally the
Pam
glue
Bondi said it
holding
itself.
everything
If they
together.
prosecuted everybody in the Epstein list, the system would crumble.
But so what does that tell you about our system?
Right, exactly. And then you have like leftists screaming like, "Yeah, that's the point." You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, it's very corrupt the whole way through.
But the thing about Trump though, it's like he was really running on this populist message. And the one thing that I'm very how do I say this, hopeful about is the populist message is winning, but we keep getting rug pulled. So it's
Right.
like for example, hope and change, Obama, right?
Right,
He's
right.
out here and he's here to spread
And
hope
that's
and
why I
change.
that's why
but
I
then
say-
but then he's just a globalist pawn.
Right.
And then same thing with Donald Trump, where he
Right.
comes in, he's like, oh, I'm disabling the military-industrial complex. I'm not getting us into a
That's
a
why I
war.
always say Trump 1.0 and Trump 2.0 are two completely different people.
Because he
he
because
got
he's-
indoctrinated, dog.
Yeah.
Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like he might have come in with all these outlandish ideas of draining the swamp and this and that, bro.
The swamp drained him.
Within a week, it drained him. You know what I mean? Like we didn't see none of that.
I think honestly, it was when he lost that election in 2022.
He is yet to win against the man.
True, he got terramogged by Biden.
Yeah, he did. The Poseidon Chad.
Yeah, he hit him with the dementia stare and terramogged
It
him.
works though. It worked for Biden. Cause it's just crazy though. Like that's the best way to piss off like a MAGA guy. Just be like, bro, you can't even beat a man though. Like you can
Literally.
only beat women.
Yeah, but that
Probably
election was
physically
stolen.
and-
It was stolen.
Right.
The funniest thing too is when the whole stolen election thing was going out.
If you believe that, dude, you're cooked.
Well, in the beginning, I saw like that one graph that was like, oh, at midnight, and I was like, whoa, what the heck? This is so weird. Obviously, time went past. I mean, I'm not really bought into all that. But when he was on with Joe Rogan, I don't really remember 2024.
I remember him going on. I don't remember.
And then
the
Joe Rogan
episode,
asked him straight up, "Is like, do you have the proof? Can you show me the evidence right now?" And then Trump was
course
like,
not.
"We will have it done. We'll have everything packaged,
Yeah,
pretty bow
right.
all over it." And
It's
then
the
like
same
nothing
people-
happened
it's
with
the
it.
same people that gave influencers the Epstein list to go through. What happened to that? You know what
Yeah,
I
but
mean?
that was
Like,
that was a play for the Epstein because everything is off image with Trump. So when he's talking about we're gonna be open and transparent, right? When they ask him about 9/11, he's He's like, yeah, we'll be open, transparent. I mean, for me, I don't believe the official narrative with 9/11. Think something else happened there. But in terms of like the
Whole
files,
different conversation.
yeah, it's a whole different conversation. That's like a whole podcast worth of
That's like a
conversation here.
2-hour podcast.
But the Epstein files, I mean, the 9/11 Commission report, the 9/11 files that came out, nothing really came of it. The JFK, nothing really came of it. And when it came to Epstein, it was like they wanted to hold it so back. And that
Right.
just shows you
That
that's
should
like
tell you
what's
something.
actually truly here versus what's like fake propaganda slop for conspiracy theories.
Right,
because
right.
at this point, anything they release about, even if it was fake or even if it was true,
But everybody's gonna
anything they
believe it now.
release is not going to show any evidence of
Right,
that.
right.
So it's kind of this whole other thing. But with Epstein specifically, it's like recent mixed with a lot of the political game is surrounded around it, because like the swamp, I feel like is like the main route. I don't know if you ever watched the Avatar. Remember that one big like swamp that was like
In the Earth Kingdom.
exactly, and then like there was that one main tree with all the roots. Like that's Epstein holding
Yeah.
together this system, and it's like he could literally like touch the root and like see someone and connect with Bibi Netanyahu, and then go in here and then talk to
got
like a
CCTV
high
cameras
tech
everywhere.
firm, and it's like yeah, dude. And I think Bibi Netanyahu. You ever watched Game of Thrones? You know, like the viewer, he can like see through Epstein's eyes.
Yeah. That's
like-
so funny, dude. That's so funny. He's a skinwalker.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
He's
so
like, Epstein,
funny.
go up to Donald.
Bro, I don't
him
know,
a
man.
pat on the back.
I think we're cooked, man. Like,
Yeah, and it's funny to
we're
make jokes
cooked.
and stuff, but truly, I think.
but
our
like
country's
we
cooked
only
right now.
use jokes to like help process the trauma. You know what I mean? Like we're just jester maxing over here. You
Jester
know, because
maxing.
like that's the only way to survive at this point. You know?
Yeah, the only way to survive now is to just ascend, take peptides, terramog everyone you can, nihilism framework, spend all your money on credit cards, and die at 22. Like that's like the peak existence right now, because
I mean, like
if you're surviving past 30, it's like your knees start going out. You're not gonna go to the doctor. You know,
Shit,
the
I can't
doctor for
afford
that.
it.
Yeah,
I can't
you should-
afford it.
You know, you're like you want to go take a nap, and then there's gonna be like AI predator drones like spraying
Yeah,
like piss on
literally.
you to get you off the benches, because like there's like anti-homeless attack force of like drones. Like I feel
Yeah,
like
it's so dystopian, man.
we're going to enter a dystopian novel in 20,
are.
30 years. No, I think like it's gonna become like a cartoonish.
Oh, okay, fair.
Like a
'Cause I was gonna say we
cartoonish level
are in a
dystopian novel.
dystopian universe already, but like maybe not cartoonishly so. But like even that, in some instances, super obvious. Like Amazon, right? The world's biggest corporation, billions of dollars, this and that, low-key an evil company. If you really look at their logo, they're smirking at you. You know what I mean? Like that's so cartoonishly evil already.
It reminds me of the Lego movie.
Yeah,
And they're
but
like,
like literally though, like
Mr. Business owns everything.
right, but like literally though, you know, like that movie's so good, bro. That movie's based, bro. That movie is so good, man, because it's so on point. You know what I'm saying?
With like the themes and stuff
yeah,
about like
so on point.
personal creativity over systematic
Yeah, dude,
control.
it'd be
all
like that. You know,
But
that's why
what it is
AI
for it
can
to be a
never.
human, though.
That's why AI can never succeed. AI could get close, but it'll never match. You know, like I feel like we're getting off topic now, but like
No,
yeah.
but I think we're on topic here because we're humans, right?
Fair.
And that's what really that's really
Fair.
what it is, because there's a level of like our
it's a
whole
good way
system.
to wrap it back around.
No, but it's like our whole system is sent on this like level of, okay, your productivity values your worth, and there's a level to it, of course, because if you're just a nothing bum who does nothing with his life,
Right.
you don't have too much worth for society. You might have worth for yourself or people
Right.
around
But
you,
even
but
that
ultimately,
matters.
yeah, I mean that matters as well. But in terms of like, there's a deeper purpose between us humans to want to have these deep emotions like love, you know, have these emotions like creativity.
I mean, we're
to be
social
able to
communal creatures.
but to like to build something, to like create,
Right.
to like. I think a lot of people have that innate in them, and if you don't have it in you, you probably do, but it's been
it's
covered
human
up
nature. Everybody has
with.
that.
It's been covered up with something. It's like
Right.
something about you is exceptional, and you should see that and try to grow as much as possible in the society, which is, you know, a little bit like, you know, you got to work, you got to make money to
Obviously,
survive or
yeah,
whatever, but
yeah.
you should focus on what makes you happy, focus on what gets you going. And it's like this whole thing, right, of the world collapsing around us and all that. Ultimately, it doesn't matter because we're here and we can only go forward. And if you think about it
Got
like
no
that,
choice.
in terms of like a personal choice, when you make that choice in your own mind of like, okay, like all this stuff is happening around me, I'm going to succeed in spite of that, you'll be in a way happier spot,
Agreed.
even if things are not working as well. So it's like, no, you know, I don't want to black pill and be like, oh, everything's gone, we're done. It's like we should focus on things that make the human experience better.
Right,
And especially
agreed.
now with AI, it's like I think this is an opportunity where we can grow as humanity to be able to like maybe outsource a lot of this low level work that we can have these computers do and have people focus on like
Right.
things that
But,
make
like,
them better in society and life.
Right. I saw this quote that like it encapsulates my thoughts on AI perfectly, and it says AI should be here to help me clean my dishes, do my laundry, so I can paint and write, not the other way around. You know what I mean? Where it paints and writes for you while you go do housework.
Exactly.
You know, like if it was flipped, then sure, I'd be a little bit more warm towards AI. You know what I mean? But like, still don't fully trust AI. You ever see Smart House?
Yeah.
The Disney classic. You know what I mean? Like that alone should be like red flags for AI bros. You know what I mean? Like we're not that far from that, in my opinion. Like half your appliances already talk to you. You know, like we're like on track to get a HAL 9000. You know what I mean? Real moviegoers know that reference.
Yeah, I think because it's like we have to view AI like a truly revolutionary change in the way humans interact with everything.
Right. But then it's also important to distinct like the AI that most people think of when we say AI is a very specific kind of AI. Because not all AI is bad. You know what I mean? But generative AI for the most part is useless. Because you're drinking up like that clip we showed earlier. A whole lake dried up just to make that 8-second clip of BB bouncing off the counter. You know what I mean? Like,
but the problem too with that, it's like I feel like we could get to
Bro,
a point where
but,
we
like,
can use
learn
that
how
type
to
of
use
energy.
Blender.
Like, why don't we use like nuclear power to
right.
power this type
It's
of
the
stuff?
cleanest.
Exactly, but it's something that we could build like mini
Don't make
nuclear
enough money.
reactors to be able to power this grid,
make
to be
enough
able to
money.
use this AI.
That's
But-
why solar power hasn't taken off the way it should have either in this country.
But I thought because solar power is not too good compared to conventional use of electricity, and
Yeah,
depending on the
but
area
but
too,
it's
it's not as
also
good.
free. It's free power. They don't want no free power. Bro, if you go to other countries like Portugal, for example, Portugal is covered north to south in solar panels. Covered. We could do that here very easily. We don't want to. You know what I mean? There's not enough profit in it because the sun is free. You know, until they can find a way to like charge you more for like the sun rays, that's not happening here.
So then, how do we shift the government goals away from profit?
Get
to
rid of the
better
boomers in
humanity?
office. They got all of them got to go. All of them. You should not be like. I don't understand why it became an American like habit to like vote for these geriatric fucks that are so out of touch. You know what I mean? Like they barely know how to use Facebook, let alone run a country, dude. You
So
know
you're
what I
telling me
mean?
we should have like a divergent level test where we have boomers in a room and have them like plug in the
Yeah.
HDMI cord on
if
a
you
TV.
want to, if you want
And
to,
if they
a
can't
government,
do that, then you can't go.
if
in
you
the
want a government position, yeah, 100%, yeah.
You gotta pass the HDMI
like,
test.
like if you don't know how to work in our current world, how are you dictating in our current world? You know what I mean? Like
speaking
like,
of
plug in a PS5, bro. You know what I
speaking
mean?
of this crowd who doesn't know how to live in our modern world, did you see the clip of Ted Cruz talking about the anti-Semites in his comments?
Oh my god, no, I didn't. But
So he
please
comes
enlighten
out
me.
here and he's talking about all these anti-Semites in his comments, and he goes, "Well, I could post good morning on Twitter, and then these anti-Semites will come into my comments and flood them with photos of me in a bikini, an Israeli bikini." And it's like, dude, like we're putting you in an Israeli bikini not because we're anti-Semitic.
No, because
it's
you're a cuck for Israel.
Exactly. You should go and dance for your freaking
like
masters.
you literally told everybody that you twerk for Israel on Tucker Carlson. Everybody saw. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like there's no walking that back
No,
now.
that statement alone should disqualify you from any office
Right.
ever. Like you shouldn't even
Ever.
be working for the
Right.
government in terms of picking up trash.
Right.
Right? Because I
Agreed.
can't trust you.
That is the most like obvious treason, dude. Like treasonous statement you could have made on an interview. You know what I'm saying? Like all you had to say to make it a little bit better is like, no, well, like I'm an American, but like obviously we're gonna like take our allies into account. That would have been a million times better than, well, yeah, I started this to like help protect Israel. Like, bro.
But that's the whole thing too,
Bro.
because there's a big difference between those two arguments,
right,
right?
that's what I'm saying. Right.
Because and that's something that I'm happy you said that, especially too because there's a lot of people out there who go, okay, Israel is in our strategic interest, right? They're very scared of Islam spreading. They're very
is all
scared
true.
of, and I can't discredit those arguments. Those are all valid arguments. I understand that. But then when it gets to a level of, okay, you're critical of Islam, you want American dominance in the Middle East, you're more of like a neocon, that's just your policy,
Right.
that's fine. And then there's like no, Israel is a special place that must
Right.
be protected at all costs.
Guess
When
which
Nancy
one? Guess which
Pelosi-
one is more so in our government? That one.
exactly.
The latter.
The latter. But like, there's a clip of Nancy Pelosi where she's literally saying that the fabric of our country, keep saying company, the
Same
fabric
thing,
of
dude.
our country could fall down. Everything could come shattering. She said like the capital could come shattering, and the one thing that will remain is our support of Israel. It's like we're
That's
literally
so
having
crazy,
a
bro.
catastrophic level thing where our
You know
capital
what that
is
reminds
crumbling.
me of?
and
That
we're
reminds me of
supporting
like
Israel.
Let Them Eat Cake. You know what I mean? Same vibes. Different words, same vibe. You know what I mean? Like it's just so out of touch, dude.
Or just like
So out of
how
touch.
many senators or congressmen took trips to Israel,
All of them,
right?
basically.
Except for like the based ones.
Right. Then those I could count on one hand, probably.
But that's why now, especially too, like that is a big marker if you're compromised or not. It's like
Agreed.
if you're selling out, if you're doing dances, if you're
But
doing
it's not
tricks on it
just
for
Israel and APAC. It's all PACs.
but Israel is like the most blatant.
For sure, agreed. But like at the end of the day, it's still all PACs because all PACs represent special interests. You know what I mean? So if you have any, like when you're going to like your locals to vote or whatnot, because I was actually gonna bring this up earlier. Everybody always says like, well, what am I supposed to do about it? Like it's out of my hands. I'm powerless. No, you're not. There's a lot you can do. It might not be big and sweeping, but like every little step leads up to a mile. You know what I mean? You start local. You hold your local representatives accountable. Don't hire people that take PAC money because they don't care about you when they're getting $50,000 checks from Oil Pack or APAC or you know what I mean? Like that should be the one bare minimum like standard that we should have for all government officials. Don't endorse anybody who takes any kind of PAC money, and then like choose where you shop and who you support. You know what I'm saying? Like we have more power than like people think we do.
100%.
We just don't know how to use it because we've been propagandized to fight each other.
I remember where I said this last, but it's like we're fighting like the American people, right, versus the government, these institutions, whatever you want to call it, deep state, you want to call it whatever you want, right?
It's just a state.
We're fighting. Yeah, true. It's just a state. It's not really a deep state. It's in
Right.
our faces blatantly. But it's like we're fighting them, but we're the stronger opponent, but we're blinded, deafened, and like we don't know what's going on while we're trying to fight.
Right.
I think that's what's happening. But I think we're starting to get the blindfold off. We're starting to be
think
able to
so,
hear
too.
the enemy because, and again, it's like I don't want to just say Israel's the enemy. Israel's our enemy, but it's not just Israel. It's what you said. It's the wider aspect of you don't support American people. You're not here for the American people. You're here for special interests.
Right.
But I would say with Israel, it's particularly egregious because even if you go with the oil
Well, for sure,
companies,
'cause-
right?
well, at least they're American.
Exactly. If
Right.
you go with the oil company, right, you could be like, oh, well, it's going to increase our GDP. Well, it's going to, like make gas cheaper. If we
Right.
go and invade in Venezuela, it'll make gas cheaper because blah, blah, blah. It'll help the economy. That's your argument to better America. I think it's evil and demonic,
At least,
or whatever.
at least it's an argument.
At least
though.
it's an argument to better America.
Right,
But with
right.
Israel, it's solely damaging America.
No, it's to
in-
protect the
in
Iranian
protecting
women.
Israel.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude,
it's just
and-
to protect the Iranian women, bro. We gotta do it. We gotta white knight our way in there. You know what I'm saying? Even though we treat American women like trash, but
But it's not even that because it's like we don't care about. Obviously, we don't care about them
Right.
because that whole place is going to destabilize. It's going to fraction off into military
Again.
groups, and then these women are going to be oppressed even more
Right.
in the region
Right.
than they already are.
And then
probably
speaking
right
of that,
now.
like this goes to the same people that complain about immigration. And it's like, bro, you cause it because like you complain about immigration, you go destabilize a region. Guess where they're going? They're gonna come here.
And that's a whole other aspect too,
know,
especially
like-
especially like I'm talking to my right wingers here, right? You're complaining about the immigration, like you just said. We invaded we
Same thing with
invaded
Venezuela.
Iraq. You think right now, because number one, Donald Trump hasn't really done anything for immigration. He's just done executive orders, which can just be replaced by the next administration to come in. So let's say you're a very hardline Republican on immigration. You come in, you're like, okay, I'm going to support Donald Trump because he's stopping all this immigration. He doesn't pass any legislation, truly. He just does executive orders that can get wiped from the next administration.
Right.
And then even on top of that, when this refugee crisis comes in, you know who's going to be in office? A Democrat. And the
Right.
Democrats are probably going
And
to leave
they're
the borders
and they're
open.
probably
and
still
we're gonna
gonna
have
blame
flooded with.
Biden.
We're going to be flooded with immigrants who might hate us because we just
Right.
destroyed their
And then
own
the
country
next time
and
a
destabilized
Republican
them.
comes in, they're gonna blame it on that Democrat instead of the Republican before him who caused the whole thing.
Exactly.
You know, like it's very much recency bias and like, dude, there's still like I forgot exactly what JD Vance was talking about. It was a couple of days ago, but he's still blaming Biden for things. And it's like, bro, like we're so far removed from that now. Like at this point, things that are happening is your administration's fault.
We were better under Sleepy Joe than we are under Biden.
I think
with
so
Donald
too.
Trump right now.
I think so too. And I don't even like Biden. And I think we could have done better as for a president. But like, dude, there's no comparison.
Dude, Biden was in his basement huffing fumes like the Oracle of Delphi,
Right,
just saying like,
like-
oh yeah, maybe we should give Ukraine nukes to destroy Russia. Even that would have been better than Donald Trump, who's just like listening to the ear of the devil, Benjamin Netanyahu or Peter Thiel
Well, don't
or these
disrespect
special
the devil like
interests,
that.
and they go, Yeah, true. And then he just does their will and does their bidding. And you could either say that's because Donald Trump got tricked, or you could say that he's compromised by the whole Epstein situation, which
Both.
isn't a 0%
It could
possibility.
be both.
And it's a whole other thing too, because like, for example, let's say you are the president and the black suits come in and tell you, like, we're gonna get destroyed. You have to do this right now. We're gonna get destroyed.
Right. At that point,
How
what
do-
do you do?
How do you go? Oh well, you're not telling the truth, but well, they're the
It's
number
like,
one
do
office.
you go the Donald Trump route and buck and twerk, or do you go to the JFK route and get shot? You know, those are your two options at that point. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you choose? A real one gets shot, but like, let's be real, most of them are real ones.
Word.
You
Yeah,
know,
JFK was the last real president.
and he
prestige aura.
literally got replaced by a fucking actor.
He
like,
mocks-
literally
JFK,
got replaced by an actor.
JFK mocks everyone. Like, think about it. Like Bill Clinton. I mean, like he was tapping Monica Lewinsky.
And people are like, yeah, but like JFK was a womanizer too. Okay,
but he was cool with it, and
still
he had that
based,
aura. Like
still
what?
based.
Yeah.
You know, like Bill Clinton was slapping it on Donald's tongue in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Trump was glurping and burping for.
it's just
Bubba.
crazy that like, and like, I don't like Bill Clinton. I hope Bill Clinton goes to jail for being in the Epstein files. But like, if he got impeached for a blowjob, dude, how is Trump not for everything
Well,
that
I
he's
think
done?
he will. I think he probably was going to get impeached whenever the Democrats win the midterms.
And I think that's also part of the reason why we entered a war to push the midterms. Because now they can use the war as justification. We can't have a vote while we're in the middle of a global conflict, and they're going to push it back.
Yeah, and a lot of these Democrats too are going to support it because a lot of them are
course.
cucked for the Israeli
Because
lobby, and
Democrats are terrible.
they're like John, like one
Horrible.
of these John Fettermans or
Right.
like
I hate John Fetterman so much. Like, so bad. But yeah, like, but that's exactly it. You know what I mean? And then, like, that's the thing we also have to be wary about. It's like I hate this whole, like, vote blue no matter who. You know what I mean? Like I get the logic behind it, bro, but, like, we got to stop voting for, like, Israel cucks, bro. We have to stop. That's the only way we're going to grow as a nation. You know what I mean? Like, we're literally handcuffing ourselves. And I don't know how else we get out of those handcuffs besides like getting rid of these people and replacing them with people that actually care about your interests or seemingly care about your interests. Because like with politicians, always take a grain of salt, bro. You know what I mean? Never take a politician's word at face value, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying?
No, I
Like,
think 100%.
no matter how base they sound, no matter how funny they are, or whatever, never take that shit at face value because you're just gonna end up
getting scammed.
right, exactly.
Yeah, but it's like you go to a car dealership and you just yeah, let's do it. Oh
Right.
yeah,
Oh, I got a great deal. And then your yearly rate is like 12%. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, yeah, but I got a great deal. I only pay like $300 a month. It's like, yeah, plus 12%, dude. You're paying the same thing.
In a lot of those situations, a lot of people get like defensive when you try to tell them, "Oh, you got scammed." Like, do you think that's happening right now with the
Right, but I think it's
Republicans
because people
with
don't
Trump?
want to, yeah, because I don't think people want to feel stupid. And like, the way to bridge that, and I'm talking to all my leftists out there, the way to bridge that is stop making them feel stupid. You know what I mean? You're never going to win them over by making them feel stupid. These are the same people that don't care about facts. They don't care about the real world that we're living in. They live in whatever little thing they believe for themselves. Like, judgment's not going to get us anywhere with them.
Yeah.
I think we find more ground, like, hearing them out and then being like, I don't agree with you. You know what I'm saying? But, like, we have a common enemy, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we're just all a little doom-pilled by design.
Yeah, I
By
think
design.
it is by design as well, because especially with all we're getting hit with
Constantly.
news,
Right. They're trauma dumping us so we get desensitized.
and easily complied.
Right.
Because even for example, you see like let's take it away from politics and bring it to something politics adjacent, the aliens, right?
Okay.
And a lot of people go, oh, they release stuff in the media to get us accustomed to aliens before they release it. Right? I don't know if you ever heard of those.
I have heard
conspiracies,
those.
like Project Blue Beam and all that
Uh-huh.
type of stuff. But it lays off of the clear strategy that elites do all the time throughout history is to
Pivot.
get people ready
Right.
for what they actually want to do. Because again, I think America is controlled by these forces that are pretty blatant now. And again, we're just kind of going over and over and over saying the same things. But it's like, I think we see the enemy, now we just have to fight.
Yeah.
And we have to be like militant, and we have to be
We need
ready.
to organize.
organized. Exactly.
Organize.
Like
And
unilaterally
no,
cross
like-
left and right.
and
just
like
organize
not
against
this like Antifa organization, like it should be the Antifa way, like decentralized. There's no central organization. It's just a movement. You know what I mean? That's the wave we got to be on. We all organize individually, and then all of us organizing individually leads up to everybody. You know what I mean? Like, it's the only way. We're like, The government doesn't care about you. Care for your neighbors.
You ever
They're-
watched,
that's all you got.
Ever watched Ant Life or Ant?
Ant or A Bug's Life.
No, A Bug's Life.
Yeah, where he's like, we don't need you, you need us. Like, yeah, but it's true though. Like, these people are the cockroaches
Yeah,
or
and
grasshoppers. Sorry.
And what they say too, I would probably cockroach is a good way of putting
True,
it. But
that's
and he
anti-Semitic.
goes, if you let one, he's like, if you let just one of these puny little ants think that they can do something, they all think they
Right,
can do it.
right.
And I think it's this doomer mindset that we're in is what they want us to be in. Because if we are in this wave of like nothing ever matters, nothing
Right,
happens,
right.
like we're cooked.
This is
we're
why I always
doomed,
say, like,
then we
there's,
get easily controlled in the same way.
like, nihilism, because I would consider myself a part nihilist. Like, I don't fully buy into it, but like, I would say I have some nihilism in me. You know what I'm saying? And you have to look at it two ways. For those that don't know, the theory of nihilism, or like the fundamentals, is nothing matters. The universe doesn't care about you. Nobody cares. Nothing matters. So you have two responses to that. Nobody cares. So like, and the universe doesn't matter. So I'm gonna be bummed out about it. Or this is the way I like to do it, and the way I like to live. The universe doesn't matter. So fucking have fun. You know what I mean? And like, enjoy it while you're here. You know? And like, same logic applies. Like, we gotta band together, dude. It's the only way. Like, I get that it's like hopeless or like doom pilled or black pilled or whatever, but like, it's really not. That's just what they want us to think. You know what I mean? Because they don't want us to organize. Because that challenges the status quo.
Yeah, I think suffering is part of the human experience.
For sure.
And obviously there's way different levels of suffering. I'm not going to say I'm on the same level as like a kid in Palestine or something like that. But if we all unify in the fact that this is a common threat, we have common interests as human beings, as Americans
Right.
who want to see our country prosperous, want to see our people healthy, who want to see us not being in these endless wars. And I think it's unilateral,
You know what you
honestly.
sound like?
What?
An anti-Semitic.
No. I'm just based. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm just Sigma.
It's a good response. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like, I don't think I'll ever like give up on the hope, because I'm just a hopeful person, and I hope he can make it through. Like, to my boy Flacco, who said this is gonna be like a 2-week operation. How's that going, dude? Like, I hope what you say is true and it ends quick, because more and more Americans are dying for Israel every day.
Yeah. And I want you guys to realize it is for Israel.
For
It's
Israel.
not for
Solely
America. It's
for
not for
Israel.
protection. It's for Israel.
And then you always hear people
that's
like,
it.
yeah, but like Israel, Iran was about to attack us and this and that. And it's like, no, bro, like we're so geopolitically like goated in our area that we're never gonna get attacked like that unless it's a nuke. You know what I mean? Like, but even then, they have to get through all the anti-missile, like, you know what I mean? It's like so logically almost impossible for us to get attacked like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say never, because you never know, but I don't see it happening. Troops on the ground, never in my life. Never in your life, never in your...
But I don't think that we're ready truly for an all-out invasion and an all-out attack.
We're not.
Eh,
But it'll
homeland,
never
our
happen.
homeland.
It'll never happen. We're so far
Never
removed.
say never. I mean, if there truly
But like,
was
think
a
about
fleet,
it. Think about it. If you're coming from like the Asian side, you have to cross the entire Pacific, which people underestimate how big the Pacific is. Like, there's parts of the Pacific where if you turn to that globe, there's no land. On the whole side of the globe, there's no land. Like, you have to cross that whole
I would
ocean
agree with you, but that's kind
through
of
bases, because we have military bases everywhere. And then you still have to approach our coast, and we have the most sophisticated military on the world.
yeah. But with drones, it's not the same.
I mean,
thing as a
granted, with
missile.
drones, but like,
Because there was
is
an
any
operation.
any country besides maybe China at that level drone wise besides us?
Iran.
At our level?
Well, in terms of you don't need like to attack. You need way less sophistication than defending,
I mean, that's true.
right?
Yeah.
And then in terms of like the drone threat, there was an operation that happened in Russia where Ukraine was able to,
the whole war is drone fights.
but they were able to ship a bunch of drones through through civilian infrastructure on trucks, and then activate them, and they all disperse from the truck. Like if an
Right,
operation like that happens,
but that's way more close quarters, because you still have to cross an entire ocean to get to us. You know what I mean?
No, you just need to smuggle a couple of drones that aren't even. I wouldn't even say, because there's these certain drone parts that are they're even having issues right now in like the Horn of Africa and Pakistan with kind of like counterterrorism threats where they're trying to stop this flow of items, right? Because it's
Okay.
like dual use items, because you could buy it for civilian purposes.
Right,
So
right.
like with these types of items, like you can buy it for civilian purposes, you can get it through our system pretty easily, and then if you're able to mount some kind of mass drone attack with bombs on them, it's like it's not completely unfeasible, and we have
Fair.
no defenses for it.
I'll give you that. Fair.
So,
fair.
and I would even say like cyber attacks,
Cyber attacks, I think, are more
power
likely.
grid.
That's more
problems.
likely, in my opinion.
But that's kind of the new because I think a lot of people think of nuke, big bomb, right? Big bomb is gonna blow up
right.
everything.
But it's more likely to be EMP.
Yeah, it's more like high level stuff. Like,
Right.
why would I kill? Like, for example, right? Let's say I'm a CIA agent. I have all this like high tech, secret operative like weapons, right? I could just shoot you in the head with a bullet, but everyone knows I shot you in the head with a bullet.
Right.
Or I can shoot you with the high sophisticated
ice
heart
gun.
attack gun.
You're right.
Right, that shoots
Right,
a
the heart
little
attack
ice,
gun.
yeah, and gives you a heart attack, and you can play it off politically. You can do all this type
Right.
of stuff. In the same way, it's like if you do like a cyber attack, you don't know who did it,
Right.
right?
I think that's more viable than us getting like hit or like troops on the ground. I don't think will ever happen. We're too big of a country.
Oh, no,
you know
I
what
don't
I mean?
think so.
Like
I don't think
that
so
will never
either.
happen.
Plus, we're all
And
armed.
like I think that's the perfect analogy because the only way we'll get like bombed is if like a statement type of thing. You know what I mean? Like that's the only. Other than that, I don't see it happening.
what do
Besides,
you mean
like
statement?
like somebody is trying to make a statement, like
Yeah.
we're not untouchable. You know what I mean? Then I could see us being like.
That's
hit
what
by-
9/11 was for. That's the purpose of 9/11.
Right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But like we kind of counter overcorrected that real quick. You know what I mean? And kind of put Iraq and Iran, because we also fought Iran at the time, in like a death hold, a death grip. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, like I don't think so, man. I don't know. Personally, I don't think so. Maybe just me being hopeful that because we live in a very metropolitan area and a high priority target list. So like I'm hoping we never get attacked. You know what I mean? Because if they hit New York, we're cooked.
Even if there's a big supply chain problem, that's catastrophic.
Right.
If you look at what happened in Texas with the snowstorm,
But it's already look at gas, dude. Ever since the start of the war, it's like doubled in price. It was like I feel like 2-3 weeks ago it was what, 2 something? That's almost $4 in the span of like 15 days. You know,
And
and
it'll
it's
get
because like
worse.
we said, who would have thought they would have closed the Strait of Hormuz? Who could have seen that coming?
dude, I literally saw a drunk TikTok influencer talking about them closing the Strait of Hormuz, and you're telling me that they weren't able to battle plan this?
Right. Like it hasn't been famously one of the most like crucial like crossings in human history. You know what I mean? Like
And that's the whole thing too, because our goals in the region should be making sure trade is working. Right.
Right, agreed,
So if
right.
we're there and we're not best friends with Israel and we're not best friends with Iran and we're only there to make sure that things are happening well, we would, okay, you guys want to fight, go ahead and fight. We're not supporting Israel, we're not supporting Iran, but if you guys try to close down the strait, we're getting involved and we're going to do whatever we need to just to stop you from closing down this strait. So it's like if that was our perspective in this war, we would be more justified in intervening,
Right.
bombing or whatever, and just to like we did with the Houthis, just like what we did with the Houthis. But unfortunately, our goal is not to make sure shipping as well, because that's kind of a consequence of our actual goal, which is destabilizing Iran, getting rid of their regime,
Right.
to allow Israel to do whatever they want. For, again, the stated goal that's throughout their entire
Right.
country, the Greater
Guys,
Israel
guys,
Project.
Trust the process. This time, regime change will work. This time, it will.
And that's the other thing, too. They're saying we're not going to put boots on the ground, but if you want a regime change,
You have to have
need
boots
to
on the
have
ground.
boots on
right.
the ground.
You're not going to do it with just Air Force and
Bombing.
Navy. You know
Yeah,
what I
it's
mean?
not
It's not happening. No. Like you said it perfect. It's going to create a power vacuum and it's going to splinter into different groups. Pro-Shah, pro-Islam, like their own Iranian liberation force. You know what I mean? It's going to
Whatever
splinter.
Mossad
It's
cooked up
like
thing
when
that they're
it's
getting-
like when the Mongols split into like 5 different like competing kingdoms. It's gonna
Or
be the
like
same
Alexander
thing.
the Great, same
right,
thing.
Right, same thing. It's gonna happen. Like because every time there's a power vacuum, things like that happen, and then a worse person takes over. You know, that happened with the Ayatollah. Literally, a worse person took over. You know, like
And then let's talk about the new Ayatollah real quick before we finish up.
allegedly, if he's alive.
Yeah, well, they basically gave that guy a Batman storyline.
Right. That's
Wiped his
another
whole
thing. We
family out.
martyred the Ayatollah was like 80 something, dude. We could have just waited for him to die. Instead, they martyred him. Whether you agree with it or not, like to a lot of people, especially in Iran, he's a martyr now, and they're gonna give him more fuel to fight us more like passionately. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
if that's
because
the
even
right
if you look
word,
at the
but, like,
optics of it, most people know that this isn't this democracy fight.
Right.
Most people are aware. Most other countries are
Even
aware
Iranians.
that this is a fight to destabilize the country. It's
Right.
not. It's not to bring democracy.
right.
And the optics of that, of them fighting this kind of self-defense war, where their existence is threatened, and then you kill their Shah, which is their religious
Shah.
leader. What?
Not a Shah.
Ayatollah. Sorry,
Yeah.
misspoke. Sorry about that. Sorry, Ayatollah. I don't know if you're going to be able
You're
to
on
hear.
the list now.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear my apology, but we kill him. like you said, we martyr him, and then now the optics of this war, we already look bad. Now we look
Now we
even
look worse, right?
Add the fact that we bombed the hospital the school the first day.
Which now they're claiming was Iran. Their own bomb dropped. And
They peddled from that already
Yeah,
because it was
right.
a Tomahawk missile, so they couldn't even
Right.
back away because we're
Right.
the only ones with Tomahawk missiles. So
dude, how you gonna lie and then like when the receipts are out there, dude? Like, oh god, it's so crazy.
no, but they're used to that because if you just look at Epstein is like, that's
True.
it.
True.
Just say the word Epstein. That's it.
Let's just stop talking about it. You guys are still talking about Epstein.
You guys are still talking about Epstein.
We just got to get over it, dude.
Why are you regulated?
I think we're gonna end it there because like I'm getting a little hopeless now. The longer this conversation goes,
Yeah, we're talking about being hope-pilled, and I'm just
yeah, we're kind of dashing on it ourselves, but there is still hope. Again, be in your community. That's all we got to do. Like the government doesn't care about you. You got to care about your community. That's all we have is each other. You know what I mean?
Very
like
true.
that's all, and we just got to take it a day at a time. Small steps make big strides, and we just got to do that. Hold your representatives accountable. Thank you. Good night.
World War III has never been closer than it is right now.
Pentagon today announced the U.S. is sending military assets closer to Israel, including one of the
You
Navy's
make me
most
I'm really quite
feel
close
the way you
to, very close
do.
to cutting edge AI.
You're making all
Get the
my
right
dreams come
President Xi
true.
Jinping has said that China is using all software technical security threats, and he wants people in China to
Oh,